there's no points, right? Because it's an exhibition. So that's what's interesting is Floyd's making more money than anybody, and he's boxing people who have no chance of beating him, and he's doing it as an exhibition. It doesn't even hurt his record.
Legacy a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
And that's what I feel like's happened with Mayweather.
Why do you think he does those things, though? Do you think
for money?
But
I don't think he's got the money he says. That's what I think.
You think he still needs the money?
I don't
after
think
all
he
these
needs
years?
the money. But you know when you got that lifestyle, right? So when you're spending what he's spending,
it's a lot of expense.
Joe Rogan recently invited comedian Ali Suddy to his podcast, and very quickly the discussion moved toward Floyd Mayweather. Instead of staying at basic praise, the talk went deeper and became more critical of Mayweather's current way of living, focusing on his exhibition fights, his spending habits, and a bold claim that he now owns more than 60 buildings in New York City. Rogan spoke very directly and did not avoid the topic. In his view, this claim did not seem true and pointed to something else. He suggested that these exhibition fights Floyd is taking part in are simply a way for him to keep earning money and stay financially active.
So that's what's interesting is Floyd's making more money than anybody, and he's boxing people who have no chance of beating him, and he's doing it as an exhibition. It doesn't even hurt his record.
Because of the drug of boxing. Just
also
like
money.
Just like but I don't even think he don't need any money.
He spends so much money.
Yeah, but he don't need any. Floyd,
are you sure?
Yeah, Floyd good.
I bet if he's playing for the future, you got to keep it coming in if you're going to keep.
Floyd Mayweather has always been known for his wealth, just as much as his perfect boxing record. He created his entire image around money, and even calls himself Money Mayweather. He constantly shows off his riches with private jets, custom cars, diamond-covered watches, and stacks of cash that he carries in what he calls a pregnant bag because it is filled with millions. For a long time, this flashy image has defined who he is. But behind all of that, there is a constant pressure to keep the money coming in. Joe Rogan pointed this out clearly and did not hold back. He explained that Mayweather spends at such a high and steady rate that he almost has no choice but to keep stepping into the ring just to maintain the expensive lifestyle he has built.
You got to keep it coming in if you're going to keep spending the way he spends.
Yeah, but I think he has a lot of other business interests that he can get money from.
Hopefully.
And not just boxing. But it's the drug of getting.
Then came another twist in the story involving Floyd Mayweather and his move into real estate. In a recent online post, he claimed that he bought 60 buildings in Upper Manhattan for $42 million, and said he paid the full amount without taking any loans. He shared videos of himself walking through the buildings, smiling, talking to tenants, and showing papers as proof. He also said the properties include more than 1,000 rental units and are managed under his company VA Properties. He presented it as his own big success, describing it as a huge cash deal that proves he is now a major name in the real estate world.
I love bringing the people into my lifestyle, showing the people how I live. Now, I know you guys see me on a regular talking about real estate. Well, lately, I purchased 62 apartment buildings in New York City. And what I need you guys to do, slide over and check out the photos. It's not all 62 buildings, it's a few buildings, but guess what? All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings all belong to me. Guess what?
On the surface, it looked like a strong shift, with Floyd Mayweather going from boxing champion to a powerful landlord, while also claiming to support the community through affordable housing. He described the move as personal, saying it was inspired by his tough past and his wish to improve life for people in areas like the one he grew up in. He spoke about long-term plans and said affordable housing is about stability and giving back rather than showing off. However, doubts started to come up. When people checked public records, it suggested that Mayweather may not fully own the entire portfolio. It appears more likely that he only has a share in it. The buildings were already linked to Black Spruce Management, which is a known name in New York affordable housing. Sources say his role might be more for image than control, possibly a smaller stake being presented as a complete purchase.
Yeah.
And on a point like this, because in New York City.
Even now, Floyd Mayweather has not stepped back on social media. He continues to present the situation as if he is the only owner, showing himself walking through buildings, talking to tenants, and calling himself the landlord of Manhattan. Joe Rogan did not fully accept this, but he also did not reject it completely. He said Mayweather understands how to shape public perception. When he looks like the owner and behaves like the one in charge, people start to believe it. And this is something Mayweather has always been very skilled at, using his image to his advantage.
In 36 months with one of my new investments, I would be making $300 million a month.
What investment is that?
In real estate. I'm heavy in real estate. Even though I got a lot of cash, OPM. You don't always have to use your money. That's why it's very important for y'all to make sure y'all keep.
What caught Joe Rogan's attention even more than the real estate story was the pattern of behavior. Floyd Mayweather doesn't really need to fight anymore. He's undefeated, his legacy is secure, and he has already earned wealth that can last generations. Yet he keeps taking exhibition matches. These aren't major championship fights but low-risk events against influencers, internet personalities, and lesser-known athletes. Each fight still brings in huge paychecks, sometimes $10 million, $20 million, or even more.
He owe that money to the IRS. How much does he owe?
It's in the $20+ million range.
It's a lot of money, man.
But it's not something that he's been, it's not like deception.
No.
It's just neglect to pay.
Neglect. And it's also like, I think, and there is like a truth to this, he makes so much.
Joe Rogan asked a simple question. If Floyd Mayweather is really retired, why does he keep getting back in the ring? His answer was just as clear. He does it because he has to. It isn't about legacy or passing time, it's about money. Mayweather lives an extravagant lifestyle that almost no one else can match. He spends at a pace that even hundreds of millions can't easily cover. Exhibition fights are the perfect solution. He controls the story, the opponent, and the risk. There's no real chance of losing because he fights people who can't challenge him. The matches are for entertainment, but the earnings are real. For Mayweather, it's like printing money without ever risking his undefeated record.
One of the best investments that I did was New York real estate. So it started off with 7 figures. And I was getting a certain amount of money every month. When I first gave them $5 million, I was getting $50,000 a month. So I said, yo, the money kept coming on the 18th every month. 50,000 would come in. I still was competing. I still was fighting. I still was active, and I still was making.
Then Joe Rogan noticed a strange contradiction in Floyd Mayweather's life. On one side, he's the Mayweather who leaves clubs with an entourage and briefcases full of cash. On the other, he's the Mayweather who doesn't drink, who jogs home from those same parties at 4 a.m. and stays in top shape all year. That level of discipline doesn't match the image of a reckless spender. It shows a mindset of constant preparation and calculation. This may be why he's stayed relevant for so long. Even though he treats exhibition fights like entertainment, he trains for them as if they were world title bouts. He protects his brand, his body, and his mystique. That mix of party king and fitness fanatic keeps people watching and gives the impression that he's always in control, even when the headlines say otherwise.
In Floyd Mayweather, in this article, it states that he's spending $402 million in real estate investment in a 1,000-unit affordable housing portfolio in Upper Manhattan. The portfolio includes over 60 buildings and is one of the city's largest real estate deals of the year.
Wow. Well, thank you, Floyd Mayweather, for investing into New York real estate.
But Joe Rogan didn't drop the real estate topic. For him, it wasn't so much about whether Floyd Mayweather actually owns all 60 buildings, but why he would make that claim. It fits a bigger picture. Mayweather is getting older, the fights are slowing down, and he needs a new way to define himself. Presenting himself as a real estate mogul gives him that. It's about building a lasting legacy, not just showing off. It sends the message, I'm more than a boxer. I'm a businessman. I'm creating something that lasts.
I believe in building generational wealth. Even like when my children, all 4 of my children are adults. And I told them, no more handouts. Because I feel like I'm hurting my children.
Still, Joe Rogan stays doubtful. The numbers just don't make sense. The story that Floyd Mayweather spent $400 million in cash without any loans feels more like branding than fact. It doesn't match public records. Yet Mayweather keeps reinforcing the story. He wants people to believe he's still active, in control, and expanding his empire. If next month he announces a fight against a TikTok star in Dubai, it won't shock anyone. It will just confirm the pattern. The buildings, the posts, the persona, they're all part of a plan to keep the money coming and the image strong. Mayweather isn't only protecting his wealth, he's protecting the idea of himself, and that demands constant work.
I think the problem with shining is when it defines you.
Yeah.
The problem when you just everything is flat, like Floyd Mayweather in a way.
Yeah.
It's part of his persona. It's part of why people root against him. Like Floyd is a genius, in my opinion. Not just a genius boxing. He's the greatest defensive boxer, in my opinion, of all time. But also a genius in that he figured out a way where he has this style that's not appealing to a lot.
What Joe Rogan sees isn't a man who's lost or desperate. He sees someone who has figured out how to stay rich, or at least look rich, in a world that quickly devours fame and fortune. The money bags, the exhibition fights, the real estate claims, it's all part of a performance. It's no longer just about boxing. It's about survival. In a culture that forgets champions the moment they stop performing, Floyd Mayweather is making sure nobody forgets him. The real fight now isn't against other fighters or influencers. It's against time, irrelevance, and the pressure to maintain a lifestyle that always demands more. As long as people are watching and the checks keep coming, he will keep performing, not for glory but for the system and the image he built and still fights to protect. But his post-retirement career continues to spark debate. This time it's not just the opponents or the money, it's the words. Fellow boxing icon Oscar de la Hoya openly criticized Mayweather's choices in a video for his Clapback Thursday series on Instagram. He said, "Floyd, you're 50 years old, a legend in the sport. You need to stop embarrassing yourself with these exhibitions. Life is tough and expensive, yes, but put your legacy first."
Floyd, you're 50 years old. You're a legend in the sport. I've stood up for you in countless interviews, including Shannon Sharp's podcast last week. But you have to stop embarrassing yourself with these exhibitions. I know life is hard. I know life is expensive. But come on, dude, put your legacy first. Nobody wants to remember you like this. And it gets worse. Your jeweler filed a lawsuit against you in Miami. And many are saying you're gonna have to sell off your assets. Floyd.
It was direct, sharp, and personal, and it clearly struck a nerve with Floyd Mayweather. If there's one thing he doesn't tolerate, it's someone questioning his legacy. Mayweather responded on social media with a post that felt more like a manifesto than a reply. His point was clear. Retirement doesn't mean stepping back. For him it means freedom. The freedom to earn on his own terms, fight who he wants when he wants, and keep making millions in the process. He wrote that retirement isn't about slowing down. It's about living life your way. He said he's worked hard to build a life where he can choose his own adventures, and if those adventures still bring in massive money, all the better. Success isn't something you retire from, it's something you keep refining.
Where did you get that business sense? Because you surpassed everybody in boxing and sports and everything in general. I'm watching you as like, you bigger than the NFL franchise.
You know, every time I got around my billionaire buddies, I was more like, it's cool to come over your house, but I need a house like this. It's cool to ride on your yacht, but I need a yacht like this. It's cool to ride on your jet, but I want a jet like this. And I said, no, I don't want to ride on yours. You show me how to get it. You can't be my friend if you can't show me how to get it. Once they show me how to get it, then I can install it in my children.
It's a bloodline thing.
It's a pattern. If you know Floyd Mayweather, you know one post was never going to be the end. He went further with more messages aimed directly at what he calls his critics, or as he put it, bitter, jealous, envious loser stalkers. That's classic Floyd, unfiltered, blunt, and completely unapologetic. He called out people so unhappy with their own lives that they feel the need to watch and attack others. But this wasn't just about personal attacks. Mayweather used it to spark a larger conversation about race, wealth, legacy, and why the public struggles with athletes who refuse to follow the expected path. His next post read like a bold declaration of independence.
In the beginning, you know, I feel like people was rooting for me, wanted the best for me. And the more and more as I accomplished more and kept accomplishing things, then you start seeing like different things. Then you start saying, he's a wife beater, or he's not that smart, or you hear so many different things. And I just feel like, okay, you're entitled to believe whatever you want.
People expect athletes to go broke, not build wealth. They expect flash, not financial smarts. Floyd Mayweather says he's rewriting the rules with his own money, his own decisions, and his own moves. If that bothers anyone, it says more about them than it does about him. And he's right about one thing. Boxing has a long history of legends losing everything. Floyd is saying, not me. He's changing the ending and making it clear he's doing it his way. But opinions differ. Some see his exhibition fights as a smart plan. He's earning millions fighting low-risk opponents, YouTubers, MMA fighters, lesser-known boxers, and racking up the cash while doing it.
some of the biggest artists, and you wouldn't even know. Because my name don't have to be on everything.
I have to be the marquee.
Yeah, because sometimes if you put your name on certain things, you got people that's gonna be jealous. So sometimes I was like, I don't have to have my name on it to collect the check.
He's staying in shape, keeping his name in the spotlight, and continuing to make money from the brand he built over decades. But others, like Oscar de la Hoya, see it differently. They view it as slowly damaging his reputation. A legend risks tarnishing his name not by losing fights, but by lowering the value of his legacy. They argue that each exhibition makes Floyd Mayweather look less like the greatest defensive fighter in history, and more like a showman chasing cash instead of protecting his legacy. But is that fair? The truth is he's not harming anyone. He's not risking serious injury or facing top-level competition. These matches are basically glorified sparring for an audience. He walks in, puts on a show, makes $10 million, and walks out. It's simple work. And if people are willing to pay for it, can you really blame him?
How much is it? $1.8 million.
$1.8 million watch.
$1.8 million, dude?
You're the first to see it.
That's insane. That
1.8 is high. 18 life.
That happy birthday, champ.
That's how we doing.
1 point. That is sick, dude.
But you gotta show him what he's saying.
And still the criticism continues. There's an unspoken rule in sports that once you reach a certain level, you're supposed to step back gracefully. You're expected to age quietly and only appear for commentary or Hall of Fame events. Chasing the spotlight isn't part of the plan. But Floyd Mayweather never agreed to that rule. That's where the debate gets heated. He's not just competing past his prime, he's thriving. He's earning more money now than most champions did at their peak. He's making business deals, investing in real estate, starting new ventures. And yet instead of praise, he still faces criticism.
Just another ordinary day, chilling in an EWV Rolls Royce. For those that don't know what an EWV is, that's an extended wheelbase Rolls Royce. I need a leg. I know I ain't that tall, about 5'8.5". Some days 5'9", but it is what it is. Chilling, sitting right here watching the Thriller in Manila, Ali versus Frazier documentary. Come check it out.
Maybe it's because Floyd Mayweather never gave the public the story they wanted to hear. He was never the underdog, the humble fighter, or the people's hero. He was the villain, the one who beat everyone, dodged punches effortlessly, and flaunted his wealth along the way. He didn't ask for love, he demanded attention. And that same energy still follows him today. As he said himself, people are more likely to question your achievements than celebrate your success. Racism, envy, and outdated stereotypes often drive the doubt around him.
We got options. I got about 100 cars, but right here, we like to call this the Sweet 16. Lambo, Ferrari, Lambo, Maybach, a Maybach, whatever you want to call it.
That's more than just a clapback. It's a critique of the whole system. Floyd Mayweather is calling out the boxing world and maybe even the media for not wanting to see a black man succeed without struggle. He's pointing out that people prefer the story of the fallen champion over the one who wins big. It's a strong message that hits hard in a sport built on pain and poverty. Many boxers come from nothing, and the public loves their stories of hardship. But when they truly succeed, that's when the criticism comes. Mayweather sees it and isn't holding back. He's saying, I didn't fall in line with the norm. I studied, I invested, and I'm building a legacy whether anyone likes it or not.